Alright guys, so example 6, the sum of the angles in the parallelogram below is 360. What is the value of x? Now sum means to add, so I'm going to add all the angles of the parallelogram. So 3x plus 2x plus 5 plus 2x plus 5 plus 3x. I'm going to add all 4 of those angles together and equal that to 360 degrees. Once I've done that and I've written my equation, then I can go ahead and I can combine like terms. So remember, like terms have to have the same variable and the same power. So 3x, 2x, 2x, and 3x are all like terms. And if I add them together, I'll add the coefficients, the number in front of the x. So 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 10. So I'll have 10x. And then I need to go ahead and combine my constants, which are my numbers without the x. So that's going to be the 5 and the 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10, and then all of that is still going to be equal to 360. Now I need to solve for x. So I need to solve for x by subtracting 10 on both sides to get x by itself, and then I'll have 10x is equal to 350. Now I need to just divide both sides by 10 because 10 is being multiplied to the x, so the opposite of multiplication is division. And when I do that, I'll get x is equal to 35. All right, let's go ahead and look at example 7. And you guys can pause this video and play it if you need to. So with example 7, we have Romeo is comparing 2 events for his birthday party. Here's the information he gathered. He can either go to the Get Air trampoline park or he can go to Jump Zone. So if they charge an initial fee of $200 plus $8 per guest, I'm going to say that the guests are going to be called X. So I'm going to get 8X. Then I'm going to go ahead and write in an expression that represents the jump zone. So for Jump Zone, they charge an initial fee of $160 plus $16 per guest. Now when I see the word per, that lets me know I'm going to have an X. So I'll have the $160 plus 16x. Alright, now to solve, the question says how many guests must attend for them to cost the same amount. So I'm going to set these two expressions equal to each other and then solve for x. Now this would be a multi-step equation with variables on both sides. So I know that I want to bring the smaller variable to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract the smaller variable, which is the 8x, to the other side. And I know to subtract because if I have a positive 8x, the opposite of addition is subtraction. Once I've done that, the plus 8x and the minus 8x will cancel out and I'll be left with just 200. So I'll have 200 is equal to 160, and then 16x minus 8x is just 8x. Now I'm going to solve for x, but I have 160 in the way, so I'm going to subtract 160 on both sides. Now when I do that, 200 minus 160 is 40. So 40 is equal to 8x. Now if 8 is being multiplied to the x, the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by 8. 40 divided by 8 is going to be 5, so x equals 5. Awesome. Now once I have done that, I can go ahead and look at example 8. So example 8 is a multi-step equation, and I need to solve for x, but before I can solve, I need to do the distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. Now 2 times x, that's 2x, and 2 times 5, that's going to be 10. And then everything else just comes down. So the 12x will come down, that plus sign will come down, the equals 14x plus 6 will come down. Now step 2, once I've gotten rid of the parentheses, is to combine like terms. And remember that like terms have the same variable and the same power. So 12x and 2x, those are going to be like terms. So if I add the 12x and the 2x, I'll get 14x. So 14x plus 10, and then the rest comes down as 14x plus 6. Now I have variables on both sides, so I want to go ahead and subtract the 14x from this side of the equation to the other side of the equation. And when I do that, 14x minus 14x is 0, and on the other side, 14x minus 14x is 0. So my variable is going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with 10 is equal to 6. Now obviously 10 does not equal 6, so this is an example of no solution. Alright, now example 9, we have an inequality here, a multi-step inequality, and it's going to be solved really in the same way that we do multi-step equations. I'm going to start with distributing. So negative 3 times 3x is 9x, and negative 3 times 4 is going to be negative 12. And then all that's greater than the 3x plus 24. Now I need to go ahead and bring the smaller variable to the other side, and negative 9 is less than 3x. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite of subtraction, and I'm going to add the 9x to the other side. Once I've done that, I have negative 12 is greater than 12x plus 24. I need to solve for x, but that 24 is in the way, so I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. Now once I've done that, negative 12 minus 24 becomes negative 36. And then I still have the 12x. Since 12 is being multiplied to my x, I want to do the opposite of multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by 12. Now, negative 36 divided by 12 is going to be 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get x is less than negative 3. Alright, so for example 10, Sally wants to rent a party bus for her birthday. It costs $120 to rent the bus, plus an additional $3 per person. And when I see the word per, I know that means I'm going to have a variable. How many people can she invite if she only has $145? So, first off, I'm going to say that x is going to represent the number of people on the bus. So I'm going to have $120 plus $3 per person. And remember we said x is the person, right? The people that can come on the bus. And then how many people can she invite if she only has 145? Well, I have to have either $145 or less. So it's going to be either 145 or equal to 145. Now all I have to do is solve. So I'll minus 120 on both sides, and I'll get 3x is less than or equal to 25. Alright, and now I need to go ahead and divide both sides by 3. Alright, now the 3's will cancel and I'll get x is less than .33. Now I know that I cannot have 0.33 of a person, so that means if I want to spend either $45 or less, I can only invite 8 people. So x has to be either less than 8 people or equal to 8 people. I can't have a 0.3 person. So the correct answer is going to be D. Alright guys, thank you guys so much. Make sure you do the you-do problems on a separate sheet of paper if you are absent.